We tried to choose examples in each of the chapters where we felt that we knew what our audience would really want is a vision of what this looks like in practice and real stories of educators who have used coaching as ways together to work towards change. And so one example I can think of is in our empathy conversations chapter, the example of Carrie collaborating with parents and with a school principal in an equity committee, and using equity conversations as a way for people within the same community who work together but may not fully have had the opportunity to hear one another's stories and perspectives and goals, to hear those, to be able to find those commonalities and find ways to move forward from those conversations. And in our work with teachers with earlier versions of that chapter, we found that it was one of the most flexible coaching tools for communities to use because of its the ability for people to use empathy conversations to just begin to put into a space how they come into the work and what they imagine for their students, what they imagine within the community are possibilities, and the chance to articulate and make that a goal, that's shared among a group of teachers or educators with administrators working together. So I think that I think that through these coaching tools, part of the work is that self-reflective work. We put a lot of emphasis on the need for educators to have the time and space to reflect on their own orientations, and then to expand those through their conversations with others, using this sort of this metaphor of spheres of influence, of thinking about how we often stay so close to the most local, proximal places, the people who are easiest for us to talk to and most convenient, and how that can really sometimes limit our ability to imagine what could be.
And I think, can I add a little bit to that? I think the other piece too, is that through the tools, and in that second chapter, Melissa was talking about with the spheres of influence and the ripples of change, we do see individuals as having agency and being able to be change makers, but more importantly, we also see that in conjunction with this idea of disrupting the individualism that's so prevalent in whiteness in education, of seeing how individuals have agency and change in their communities with others. And I think that that's a really hopeful piece of this work as well, is that one, it's less lonely, and two, it's decentering whiteness in education of I alone need to make these changes, and rather it's I alone can contribute to changes that we are making in our communities, or I can work towards something that somebody is already doing to make these changes. And so I think that's a powerful thing with this bidirectional coaching and coaching collaboratively in communities, is that everybody is part of this work together across the community.